obscene amount of money on takeout ever done.
I'm getting back on track with Factor. Fresh. Getting back on track with Factor. Fresh.
Let's talk about what we're going to learn this afternoon. So I already did a stream for our Chord Academy this morning, and we did one for our overall iMusic Academy yesterday, and we've been working on 2/5s, and so I want to show you sort of the butter area of the piano for left-hand voicings, especially rootless voicings. So if you have let's say a 2-5-1 D minor, G7, you want to use this area of the piano right here. These are left-hand voicings, and what you'll notice is you'll see two different formulas. I'm either going to do I could do a 4-note D minor 9 voicing, which is flat 3, 5, flat 7, 9 of the scale, or I can do a 3-note version. That sounds good as well. But if I'm doing C, I'm going to be in this area. If I'm doing D flat, I'll be in this area. That's E flat to A flat. If I'm in D, which is 2-5, is E minor A7. I like this voicing right here. If I'm in E flat, I could go up here, but now we're starting to get a little bit high. So you have a choice. You can use F minor 9 here to B flat, or you can come down and do the other formula, which is flat 7, 9, minor 3rd, 5. So we're going to turn on the track in just a minute, and what we'll do first is we'll go through the simple voicings in this area of the piano. So you'll see I'm either going to do this version, flat 3, 5, flat 7, 9, to G13 in this area. And to change a minor 9 that wants to go to a 13, all you do is lower your index finger down. So D minor 9 to G13. And we can go around the cycle, but when you reach a key that's too high, for instance, if I'm in E and I do F sharp minor to B, that's a little bit high to play these voices because it gets in the way of my right hand soloing. So what I'm going to do is do this other formula, which is left to right, flat 7 of the F sharp scale, the 9, the minor 3rd, and the 5. Okay, so we're going to use one of those two voicings so we can stay in this area of the piano. So first we're going to go through a couple times with the backing track, and then we're going to go to adding the right hand, and I want to show you in just a minute what we're going to be doing or how you use simple notes in the right hand. And one way you can do it is if we're doing 2-5-1 in C, one thing you can do is you can do 1, 2, 3, 5. So the pentatonic, the first 5 or 4, you can do 1, 2, 3, 4 notes of the pentatonic scale, the major pentatonic scale, which is 1 of the C major scale, 2, 3, and 5. And notice this fits right under the hand. And some people know this from like the giant steps where you can play 1, 2, 5 and have those really neat things. You can actually do it for a minor as well. Instead of just 1, 2, 3, 5, when you come to a minor chord, you can do 1, 2, minor 3rd, 5. So you can get some really nice sounds that way. But what we're going to do is a very simple approach to jazz piano. We're going to start with the most basic idea of 1, 2, 3, 5, and we'll put it with our D minor. So all of those notes are going to work as we improvise over the chord progression. Now, I will tell you guys this fun little fact is I have been doing a little fundraiser for our donations. I'm getting into the backing track business, and I purchased my software, and I've just asked people, if you enjoy what you're listening to and you enjoy all the free lessons that I do, and whether or not you're a member of one of the academies or not, if you want to make a donation to this project, this backing track project, it doesn't matter the amount. Not only will I appreciate it very much, but I'll send you one of our blues courses. And you just decide, do you want blues volume 1, 2, 3, or 4, and I'll send you a link for any donation that comes in. And what we're doing is raising money to pay for the software that I just purchased. And what I've been doing is creating these backing tracks. I just created another one that's going to go out today. Instead of 4 measures before the key change, this one will be either 8 or 12 measures, so it's a lot longer for each individual key. So my links are in the description, and any donation that comes in, I'll honor the amount, but I'll send you one of my blues courses. It'll be a manual thing, so I'll see your donation, and if you're doing it like a super chat, I may not have your email, but you can send me your email. Mine is bobtaylormusic@gmail.com. That's one way to get a hold of me. It's also bob@imusicacademy.com. But anyway, I will honor any donation. And what this is doing is this is going toward the software that I just purchased. I'm kind of doing it on faith. And people have already been sending in donations. So this will be the last day that I will do donations for that. As I said from the beginning, I'm going to buy the software anyway. But anyway, so let's turn on the track. First, we're going to do D minor 9 to G13. And then if it changes key, to a certain key that's too high or too low, I'll do the other version of the formula. So here we go. And you guys have already been telling me you're enjoying the backing track, so that's awesome. Here we go. D minor 9. A minor 9 wants to go to a 13, and all I'm doing is D minor, lowering my index finger. Now we're in 2, 5, and F, G minor to C. And notice that I did the other formula. Now for C minor, I can use the first formula. Minor third of the C scale. Now let's do F minor. And right now we can just do whole notes, but I have a specific rhythm that I want us to work on really soon. So just hang in there. Just kind of doing whole notes now. Now we're doing 2, 5, 1 in D flat, which is E flat to A flat. And we're in the perfect area of the piano for these voicing to sound really good. So now A flat minor, I'm going to most likely use the flat 7 as the bottom note. Now for D flat, I'll use the minor third. 2 and 3 and 4 and I'll go back through this and kind of tell you what I'm thinking and how I can transpose these, and how I want you guys to also be able to do this as well. And all of you can do this. For B minor, you kind of have a couple different options. It's kind of getting low, a little bit low, but I'm still going to use the minor third version on the bottom end. So for E minor, I'm most likely going to use this version up here. It's one of those that could be either or. For A minor, I like this, A minor 9. That sounds so good in that area right there. And now it starts over. We're already done, and we're just going to do a repeat of what we just did. And notice that I'm going to put a little bit of rhythm with this. Now do G minor. We're doing 2, 5, and F. Now we'll do C minor. And 2, and 3, and 4, and... Repetition is your friend, so the more you do these voicings, the easier they will get. All right, for B flat minor, I can use this up here to E flat, or I could go down here, and this is one of those, it's going to sound good on both of those. So for E flat minor, I kind of like this version up here. It's getting a little bit high there, but it still sounds good to me. A flat minor 9, I like this area right here. And 2 and 3 and 4 and 2 and 3 for C sharp. I like this version. It's in the perfect area for it to sound good. F sharp, I'm going to use this for F sharp minor 9 to B13 and 2 and 3 and 4, and in just a minute I'm going to show you some really neat tips about rhythm, so just hang in there. Now E minor, I'm going to use this one, and 2, and 3, and 4, and 2, 3, 4. And then the last one is A minor to D, and 2, and 3, and 4. Okay, Okay, so let's stop this just for a second and let's talk about it. Now, this track is 17 minutes long, I think. And so you'll have plenty of time to just loop this over and over. I'm playing this right now from our Google Drive, but this track is available on our YouTube channel, so just know that. Also, if you get a chance, say hello. Make sure you like this video if you're enjoying the content. And again, this is the last day that you could, well, it's not the last day. Someone's going to leave these links. Anyone can make a donation at any time. But I am definitely going to be the backing track guy. So you need to stay tuned for this. But whatever you guys give will go towards the software that I just got. Okay, so let's go ahead and keep going. I'm going to give you some really important tips. The first thing is this. Is that as you're going through these left-hand voicings, you already know that our left hand is going to stay in this area right here. So I want you to start to make a note of whatever key you're in, whatever particular voicing you're probably going to use. And let me give you an example. Anytime I go to, if I'm the key of C, and I do 2, 5, I'm going to use this area, most likely this inversion. If I played the other version for D minor, look how high that is. That doesn't sound good. If I'm here, that's too low. So I like the D minor 9 here. And then, or actually that was the voicing. That's too high. So there are certain keys where I will want to use the other voicing, like E, for instance. E, an F sharp minor 7, that's too high. That gets in the way of any soloing I might do. So I would use this voicing right here. So I know whenever I get a 2, 5 in E major, I'm mostly going to use some form of this variation right here, F sharp to B13. And what you start to do is start to make a list of which keys you use each particular voicing. And you get through all 12 keys by doing one or the other. Okay, so the next thing we're going to do is I like to practice different rhythm concepts so that I'm getting a lot of repetition, but I'm being very specific and focused on how I'll practice those. So let me give you an example. If I do 2, 5 in the key of C, I might start off with whole notes. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. And then another thing I might do is 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and long, short. That might be one that I practice for a while. Long, short. Now, for the whole month of January at iMusic Academy, we're using one specific rhythm, and we're calling it the and of 2 and the and of 4 rhythm. And a couple different things that we can do to get into that rhythm is, one, you can actually start on the downbeat. So if I'm doing 2, 5, 1 in the key of C, I'm going to go 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1. So notice that the only time I played the downbeat was on beat 1. The first time. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1. So I could go through a whole exercise like the backing track that we're just now using, and I could do that specific rhythm. And I want you to notice that it has the and of 2 and the and of 4 all the way through the whole thing except for the very first beat, which is on beat 1, 2, 3, 4, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2. Now, same thing on the key of F. Do you hear it? And 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and now C minor, same thing. And 2 and 3 and 4. And I'm actually preceding the chord before the beat happens. Now F and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2. I'm on purpose doing just one hand at a time. 2 and 3, B flat minor. And 2, 3, and 4. E flat. You're building up muscle memory when you do this kind of practice. I'm going to show you some really important tips that are happening right now that will really help you out. Just a second. Let's get through this. And 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 2 and 3 and 4 2 and 3 and 4. E minor. This would be an example of one you could play lower or higher. I could go here. For E minor, I like that. And and 2 and 3 and 4 and 2. And notice that I didn't vary up the rhythm. And 2 and 3 and 4. Now I will say this is the way my software, my videos that I'm playing from my computer, sometimes they don't link up exactly with what you guys are hearing. So sometimes it might sound that my piano is off by just a little bit, and that's just when I go back and listen to it on the replay. It all depends on my bandwidth and how my computer's acting with the YouTube. So sometimes it may be just slightly off, but as long as you listen to the concepts that I'm teaching you, you'll know exactly where the beats are. For instance, if I'm showing you the and of 2 and the and of 4, one thing you can practice is you can practice slow and straight to get this, especially for my beginners. I can do 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and so 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and so the and of 2 and of 4, except for in the very first beat. The next thing I want you to hear is that notice that on this particular track, which is going around the circle of fifths. So it's going up by fourths. It's going C, F, up to B flat. So C, when I say the C, I mean the key of C. So D minor to G is a 2-5 in the key of C. And then it goes G minor, C7, then it goes to F, which is C, F, B flat. So we're going around the keys. You can think about it. Going from C to F is up a fourth or down a fifth. So as we go through this, I want you to notice something that's happening. When I go D and then I go to G, then my next key, all I have to do is make the G7 a G minor 7. So notice what this is a really neat visual thing that you have. D, 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and then you go to G minor, and all I did is make that the G minor from the G13 to G minor. Now watch what happens when I go to that C13. I go to minor, and I'm right next to it. Now I'm an F. Now I go F minor. So I'm changing the first chord is D minor. The second chord is G13. I'm changing to get to the next key. All I do is say G13 now becomes G minor to C13, and my next key becomes, instead of C13, C minor, and then F. So each time I'm changing that dominant chord, so dominant meaning you have D minor to G7 or G dominant chord, that turns into a minor chord, and then you do C dominant, which is the 5 chord of F, and then I go F minor. So as we go through this, just know that there are, C minor, there are ways to look at things that will help you with transposition. Let's play this one more time, knowing that particular thing, and then I'll give you, the last thing we'll do is we'll add the 4-note pentatonic scale. So we're going to do C, E, G, A, B, and C, but we're just going to do 1, 2, 3, 5 of the scale. And once again, you might recognize that from giant steps when you hear people play that 1, 2, 3, 5, which is a great, what we call a digital pattern. 1, 2, 3, 5 of any scale. And digital patterns can be different groupings, usually within the space of a 5-note pattern, where you have something that it fits right under your 5 fingers that is a pattern that you can easily transpose. In this case, we're doing 1, 2, 3, 5 of the scale. I'll demonstrate this after we do this one lesson right here. So now I want you to visualize as I play through each one. I want you to notice how I'm going to go from D to G, and then from that G13, which is our G dominant chord, I'm going to go to minor to get to the next key every single time. And I will also practice the rhythm of and of 2 and of 4. And the only time I'm going to do a beat 1 is on the very first beat of the track. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2. And again, at my iMusic Academy, this whole month, this is going to be our rhythm. So here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4. That'll happen again. And 4 and 1. Now it's G minor. Here we go. I messed that up. 3 and 4. And 2 and 3 and 4. Now that will become C minor. Here we go. Now the F13 is going to become minor. There you go, F minor 9. will become B flat minor to E13, E flat 13. Now my E flat 13 becomes E flat minor, and2, and3, and4, and 1. And from now the A flat chord will be A flat minor, and 2, and 3, and 4, and 1, and 2, to D flat. And that will become C flat. I'm sorry, C sharp. Will become F sharp minor. Now I'm at B, I'm gonna go B minor. Here we go. To E7. And then my E7 will become E minor. Here we go. To A7 or A13. And then A minor. And then it starts over. Becomes G minor. Becomes C minor. Becomes F minor. Becomes B flat minor. Becomes E flat minor. Becomes A flat minor. Becomes D flat minor. Becomes F sharp minor. Becomes B minor. Becomes E minor. Becomes A minor. All right, that was a good workout right there. Let me stop this for a second. We can take it back to the beginning, and let's do the very last thing for today's lesson. And again, we have 9 people watching. This is really good. If you would, go ahead and say hello in the chat. I want to make sure you guys are alive and enjoying this. And I see we have some likes coming in. That's very, very helpful. I hope you're enjoying the backing tracks. If you're just tuning in, I'm doing, of course, some free lessons that are kind of like right from our academy. We do that all the time. We have Chord Academy and our overall access group for iMusic Academy. But I like to show you guys what it's like to be a member. Also, I'm in the backing track game now, and I just purchased some backing track software. And so I've had an old version of it that doesn't work anymore, but I've had somebody else doing backing tracks for me, but I'm doing so many now that I want to do it myself. So I'm creating some really cool backing tracks. I have links in the description if you want to donate to that project. We've had a bunch of people that have been, people like our members and things have been donating, which I'm very thankful, and all the money for that will go to this project. So if you find this helpful and you make a donation, even if you're not a member, I will send you a course. You can donate any amount, and I'll donate to you one of my blues courses. I'll just manually send that to you. So anyway, so any amount is greatly appreciated. All right, so here's the way we're going to end up this lesson is I want to show you something that you can use in the right hand to solo. And this is going to really sound good because you have D minor to G13. So when I say D minor to G13, I'm talking about 2-5 in each particular key. So 2-5-1 is the most common progression in jazz. In this case, a 2-5-1 leads us to C. So 2-5-1 in the key of C. A really cool thing that you can do is if I'm soloing in the key of C, a lot of times people think, I have to play all these crazy licks and everything. Really, the major scale has really beautiful notes that you're going to want to use in your improvisation. And so one simple way to get into this idea is you can take 1, 2, 3, 5 of the scale, the digital pattern that we talked about. So even when I do this, and 3 and 4, and I can use any combination of those notes, or I can slide off minor third to major third. So I can either think of a digital pattern, or I can think of just the C triad and minor third to major thirds to third. It's one of your best things that you're going to love to be able to get under your fingers. Minor third to major third of the whatever key you're in. Let me give you an example of what I mean by that. So first we're in the key of C. And again, I'll do that again. Minor third to major third, that's the triad. Now I'm going to F because that's my next key. Hey, Vicky. Notice how I'm just like hanging around the triad. Okay, do you guys understand how that? Let's back it up and do that one more time. So notice that to play and to sound good when you're soloing, you don't have to play a million notes. Notice that I was saying, okay, C major is my first key, and as I go around the cycle, then it'll be the key of F, and then it'll be the key of B flat, and then E flat and A flat. But I want you to know that even the first 5 notes are going to sound amazing, or the first 4 notes are going to sound amazing, or even minor third to major third to the 1. And because the reason this sounds good is because it right there, minor third to major third of C major, gives you the 9th, which sounds amazing in the key. Now this automatically turns the G13 into a G13. That's the 13. That sounds amazing. And even when I do this for C, that's the 3rd of C. So I'm still outlining the harmony, and really all I was doing is just a couple of notes. And I'm also putting together the idea of the rhythm we've been working on. 2, 1, 2, where I go like this. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. Now F major, I'm just going to do the first 5 notes of the F scale or the pentatonic scale. Now I B flat. Make sense to you guys? E flat goes to A flat. Here we go. Any questions so far, guys? I think you understand the concept. So here's a good practice strategy. As you go through the cycle, I want you to see something that's happening. If C is my first key, and I'm going around the cycle, the next key is going to be the key of F. Or I could go minor third to major third. Go up a 4th as you're at B flat major. Or I can go minor third. Now I'm going to go up to E flat. Now I go to A flat. Or I could go minor third to major third. Now I'm at D flat. I'm just going around the scale. Now we're at F sharp. Or B major. E major. A major. A up to D major. G major, or then it starts over. All right, let's go ahead and stop that. Awesome. All right, I hope you guys have enjoyed this. We've done 3 or 4 lessons today. It's been kind of crazy and very fun, but I want you to take these ideas. I'll just do a quick recap if you're just now joining us. You're going to go around the cycle, and you're going to either give me 1, 2, 3, 5 of the scale, or 1, 2, 3, minor third to major third, or you can do this. That's not a bad one either. And all you're doing is thinking of the triad of whatever key you're in. And that's a little enclosure surrounding the third of the scale. Then B flat up to E flat. Okay? And then in the left hand, you're going to use one of those two formulas, 3, 5, 7, 9, 5 to G13. Or you can use flat 7, 9, minor third 5 to D13. All right, thanks again for everybody who has been donating to our little project. I'm going to be the backing track guy, and again, any donation that comes in, I'll send you manually one of our 4 blues courses that we have, and I'll send you the shapes course if you'd rather have that. And we also have a blues alternate bass lines course and several different things. So any of our blues courses I'll happily send you. Have a great day, everyone. Keep practicing, keep having fun in music, and whatever you do, don't get overwhelmed. Focus in on some simple things, and remember that ultimately it's about having fun, playing music, and you don't have to be perfect. Nobody's perfect, and it's just fun to create music. So have a good one.